Have you ever experienced a déjà vu moment? Like you knew you had seen or heard something before. A familiar event. Well, sometimes the feeling of déjà vu is one regarded as a positive sign that you're doing the right thing. But how about déjà vu in the middle of a flight? Absolutely tragic. We hope we never experience that. Welcome back to the channel, guys. And today on your favorite flight channel, we take a look at the only commercial air disaster that repeated itself twice, in a space of about 5 months, and what really went down. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more interesting analysis on aviation-related events. Ethiopian Airlines is a member of the Star Alliance in Africa, the world's largest global airline alliance. In nearly every category, passenger, fleet, revenue, fleet size, as destinations served, it's fair to say that this crash is one of those few occasions where the airline had almost nothing to do with the crash. Almost. Flight 302 was a scheduled routine international flight from Bole International Airport in Addis Ababa, one of the busiest in the region, to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi, Kenya. Little did any of the 157 passengers from 35 countries, or anyone at all, know that a routine regional flight would become the deadliest aviation accident to occur on Ethiopian soil. The captain of the flight was 29-year-old Yared Getachew, the youngest captain at the airline, with a commendable record, according to the airline. Yared had over 4,000 flight hours on the Boeing 737 and over 8,000 flight hours in total. His first officer was 25-year-old Ahmed Nur Mohammed, a recent Academy graduate of the airline with over 300 flight hours. Although 361 flight hours is far from being enough to get an employment in the United States, according to the Federal Aviation Authority, you'll need about 5 times that amount of flight time to become a commercial airline pilot. However, the captain was much more experienced. Shortly after the crash, one of Yared's family took to Twitter to remark about the young but well-experienced captain. As a confident captain, his seniority at Ethiopian Airlines comes with an accomplished record of 8,000 hours flight time and has made us incredibly proud of his achievements. The airplane in question was a Boeing 737 MAX 8. By the way, Boeing's 737 fleet is arguably the most successful aircraft in passenger plane history, a firm favorite for many airlines, earning a Guinness World Record in the process as the most produced commercial jet aircraft model. Autonomy, we could say this is also one of the reasons why Boeing 737 was upgraded, more autonomy to be precise, or at least that's what they made us believe. The aircraft upgrade included a much bigger engine in a bid to make the model more fuel efficient. But the Boeing 737 was much closer to the ground, leading the engine to be positioned slightly above the wings. This inadvertently disrupted the plane's center of gravity. Well, one problem leads to another. The Boeing team noticed that when the pilot took off at more vertical angles, like during takeoff, the nose of the plane pointed upwards. Well, quite comically, Boeing decided to fix the plane design blip with compensatory software. Like, seriously? Yeah, a different kind of software. MCAS. This software was supposed to override the effects of a pointed-up nose when the pilots were flying at more vertical angles. A sort of automatic compensation. An angle of attack (AOA) sensor was present to trigger the MCAS in the event of a near-vertical takeoff. But unfortunately, pilots weren't given adequate training on the system, just about 2 hours of iPad training. Sounds like a 5th-grade gaming course. Flight data and black box details showed that the pilots of Lion Air Flight 610 may have been struggling with the MCAS before the plane crashed into the Java Sea. So, when the Ethiopian Airline Flight 302 took off from Addis Ababa at 8:38 a.m. and began to experience the same MCAS software glitch, it was a déjà vu moment. A minute later, the first officer requested to return to the airport. Air Traffic Control (ATC) granted permission. After 3 minutes in flight, the captain asked the first officer to manually trim the stabilizer at the tail of the plane to realign the aircraft and point its nose upward again. The first officer raised an alarm, but the manual trim did not respond to the efforts of the first officer. Inadvertently, he reactivated the autonomy of the plane, which plunged the nose further down. Flight data showed that the aircraft's altitude and rate of climb fluctuated at this point in the flight. Well, if you ask me, pilots are heroes. They make life-changing decisions in split seconds. But guys, do you think pilots are under-celebrated? Let us know in the comments section below. The pilots tried to manually pull the plane up, but time and altitude were running out. And after about 180 seconds of the struggle between man and his technology, the plane disappeared from the air traffic control's radar and crashed nose down into a farm field near Bishoftu in Oromia region, creating a crater about 90 feet wide and over 30 feet deep. Given the circumstances, there was really little or nothing the pilots could do. Boeing were aware of the anti-stall system in the 737 MAX was a major difference from the former fleet, but they advertised the jetliner as essentially the same, with little or no additional training for pilots to understand the added autonomy. Autonomy went wrong. How could a plane with just around 400 hours of flight crash mid-air? The Boeing 737 MAX proved that newer planes have not necessarily been safer planes, as before this time, more recent models of aircraft were thought to be safer. Satellite-based tracking data showed that the Flight 302 was similar to that of the Lion Air's Flight 610 that killed 189 people. Both airplanes flew erratically as pilots on both 737 MAXs struggled to control the glitch. Since its introduction in 2016, it has become one of the most in-demand passenger jetliners. But after the deadly deja vu crashes that clearly could have been avoided, all Boeing 737 MAXs worldwide were grounded. Boeing has since claimed to resolve the issue, and the 737 MAX has been recertified in less than 2 years. But some passengers may not exactly be fans of this fleet anymore. Maybe some pilots too. What should have been an upgrade to what is already the world's best-selling passenger aircraft seems likely to have claimed hundreds of innocent lives. Would you ride on a flight you knew had used the renewed Boeing 737 MAX? Let us know in the comments section below. Devastated families were given 1 kilogram of the soil from the site of the crash, while bodies underwent tissue analysis for DNA testing and identification. I am empty. I feel that I should have been on that plane with them. My life has no meaning. It's difficult for me to think of anything else but the horror they must have felt. These were the words of devastated Paul Njoroge, who lost his wife, 3 small children, and his mother-in-law on the flight that never reached Nairobi. In the aftermath of what became the most fatal accident involving Ethiopian Airlines, Boeing earmarked $100 million compensation for the victims of the crash, aside from any fees it may have to pay for damages. Boeing CEO Dennis Muilenburg apologized for both crashes. "We at Boeing are sorry for the lives lost in the recent 737 accidents and are relentlessly focused on safety to ensure tragedies like this never happen again. It's our responsibility to eliminate this risk. We own it, and we know how to do it." Okay guys, that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it with your friends and hit the like button, and turn on the notifications icon to get updates from your favorite flight channel. Don't forget that safety is a #1 priority, and if you're ever in a position to, never undermine the safety of people's lives or anything. See you later.